Good afternoon, and thank you for watching THV11 News at Noon. I am Hayden Balgavy in for Michael Aaron this afternoon. Here with meteorologist Scott Covert. Another foggy start.
Yes.
Foggy using like at the... I don't even want to say foggy. It doesn't seem to do it justice.
We've got our heads in the clouds. I've said fog today more than in my entire life, probably. Here's the thing. We definitely have fog still across parts of the area, but conditions are improving, and we're seeing a little bit of sunshine in parts of the state. In fact, take a look at the bottom left of your screen. That's Dardanelle over the Arkansas River. We're seeing mostly clear skies, and you'll also notice where the sun is starting to peek out, the fog burning off, and temperatures starting to climb. Still foggy there in downtown Little Rock. We are going to be seeing those temperatures begin to climb here shortly. Notice visibility down to about a mile in Little Rock. It was less than a tenth earlier, so improving conditions, and we're going to continue to see that take place over the next few hours. 55 currently in Hot Springs. It's 58 in Russellville. Compare that to the 51 where we do have fog and clouds in Searcy here this afternoon. Today we'll see that thermometer climb. We're looking at a temperature of 64 degrees. Some of that fog lingering, but we are going to see some sunshine. Now we have a lot to talk about in terms of severe weather, potential flash flooding, and a big cool down. In fact, I'm tracking all of that and single-digit wind chills. Your full forecast is coming up.
Turning now to COVID-19 in Arkansas, and attention remains firmly on the rapidly spreading Omicron variant. 3,743 new cases of the virus were reported yesterday. That is the biggest increase we have seen since the beginning of the year. And the governor says that number is actually probably a lot higher when you take home testing into account. Now, the jump is, of course, impacting our active cases and hospitalizations. More than 14,000 Arkansans are dealing with the virus right now. 585 of them are fighting it from a hospital bed. The governor is set to hold his weekly COVID update this afternoon at the state capitol. Now, this comes after his recent meeting with President Biden and other governors. He is expected to talk about that meeting and, of course, the recent high case numbers. We will be there, and you can watch that press conference live on thv-at-noon or our mobile app at 1:30 this afternoon. Health experts, global and local, are warning that even if Omicron is more likely to be mild, numbers so sky high could still overwhelm hospitals. THV11's Ashley Godwin asked how they are preparing.
In the last week, we've doubled COVID admissions here at UAMS.
Omicron has taken over the pandemic here in the Deep South in the span of less than 2 weeks, and hospitals are already feeling the impact.
Just personnel alone, we've doubled the amount of UAMS employees that have been on isolation or quarantine in the last 3 days.
UAMS expects by the first week of 2022, hospitalizations will be even higher. Research is still ongoing on how often Omicron causes severe cases, but with thousands of people testing positive each day and with only 20% of Arkansans boosted, there's no doubt hospitalizations will increase.
If you have 100 times more infected people, even if it's 10 times less infectious, that leads still to basic math showing there's more sick people in the hospital.
We are expecting a very steep increase of thousands of cases in Arkansas, and they will result in an increase in the number of hospitalizations around the state.
CHI St. Vincent sent us a statement saying they have seen an increase for COVID tests and positive results, but few of those new cases have been hospitalized. The hospital system is currently managing the caseload and is monitoring for an additional surge. UAMS no longer has their COVID units open. They are treating COVID patients throughout the hospital. They are still doing well with capacity for patients, but that could change as the number of patients change.
Our numbers are still low enough at the moment where I'm not sure what our plan will be, but as I just mentioned, we've doubled our hospitalizations in the last 7 days, and that will continue to increase.
The Department of Health has a phone number to call if you get a take-home COVID-19 test and are positive. It's 1-800-803-7847. For Wake Up Central, I'm Ashley Godwin.
It is recommended to keep protecting each other and yourself by wearing masks, getting vaccinated or boosted, and taking a test if you have symptoms. We also asked Baptist Health if they're preparing, and we're still waiting to hear back. Nationally, the wave of new COVID cases from Omicron is setting records and putting New Year's Eve celebrations in jeopardy. Now, the CDC reporting the most new COVID cases per day ever recorded yesterday, and that number will continue to go up. Meanwhile, HHS is reporting that pediatric hospitalizations are up nearly 50% in several states. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says that she hopes COVID boosters will be authorized for 12 to 15-year-olds in the weeks ahead. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the way people should isolate and quarantine after testing positive or being exposed to COVID-19. And now, a Michigan woman is going viral after posting videos of her isolating in an airplane bathroom after finding out she was positive for the virus during her flight to Iceland. Keely Laverne shares her story.
On a 5-hour flight, this is where Marisa Fodio spent most of her time.
I can't believe I spent 4 hours in that bathroom. Like 4 hours.
Fodio says her throat started to hurt about halfway through her flight on December 20th on Iceland Air. She had brought some rapid test kits with her just in case she needed them while traveling.
I went in today, took a test, and ended up within 2 seconds, it was positive. I freaked out. I ran out of the bathroom and I ran into the first person I saw.
That attendant's name was Rocky, who then asked Marisa to stay in the bathroom while she figured out what to do.
Wow. So I said, just keep me in here. Can I have some waters and some snacks though? And she was like, anything you want. This is your space. And for the rest of the 4-hour flight, I was in that bathroom.
Fodio captured her journey in the plane's tiny bathroom in a TikTok video that has now been viewed almost 4 million times. Fodio grew up in East Grand Rapids, but now lives in Chicago. And this all happened on a trip to Switzerland with her dad and brother. Their first flight was on a layover to Iceland.
You've got to do what you've got to do. I really think that this is the truth about the new world that we're in. Just everybody needs to look out for each other.
Marisa's brother and father continued on to Switzerland while she stayed in Iceland for a 10-day quarantine at a Red Cross humanitarian hotel.
And they have medical personnel here that check on me 3 times a day and give me food 3 times a day. Looking back on it, I'm so happy that it turned out the way it did. And, I've been cozy in here.
Fodio says Rocky, the flight attendant, even dropped off a special delivery since she'd be isolated over Christmas.
Don't mind me, I'm just crying. Because Rocky came over and gave me Christmas gifts to open in the morning.
Fodio says Rocky really went above and beyond to make sure she had a happy holiday despite her circumstances.
No, I was very surprised at how fast it blew up. I'm just happy that, through the TikTok, people are able to hear the story of how, a stranger can care so deeply for another stranger.
An expanded version of the child tax credit is set to expire next month after Congress failed to reach a deal to extend it. Jan Crawford is in Washington with the potential impact on those people who are getting that money.
It's going to be a big change for a lot of families. There was a tax credit before the pandemic, but it was for less money and went to fewer families, and it was only paid out during tax season. This temporary child tax credit has been going out every month since July, and some 35 million eligible families have been able to get up to $300 a month per child. The program was paying parents a total of up to $3,600 per child 6 and under, up to $3,000 for each child up to age 17, and it expanded who qualified. But when West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin said he would not support the Build Back Better bill, that also killed a provision to extend the expansion through 2022. That was needed because, according to Columbia University, payments cut child poverty rates by nearly 30% in October alone. Now, it's not clear if lawmakers are going to be able to come up with a compromise on the child tax credit, but with no deal there, there's obviously going to be a gap in monthly payments and more uncertainty for family budgets in the new year. Jan Crawford, CBS News, Washington.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you still have your Christmas decorations up? Whether you are someone that keeps the tree up well into the new year or you've already taken care of the holiday decor, we are sharing what to do with your Christmas tree after the holiday.
I'm tracking a strong cold front that's going to bring big changes to our forecast. We're talking about heavy rain, flash flooding, the potential for some severe storms, and get this, single-digit wind chills. Everything you need to know coming right up.